Your name?
I'm Dr. Margaret Flowers.
Dr. Flowers, we're here in front of Penn Station tonight. There's a demonstration going on. And what's it about?
Well, it's about this free trade agreement that's being negotiated right now called the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. It's been negotiated in secret for the last 3 years by the Obama administration and its trade representatives, as well as 600 corporate advisors who have real-time access to the text of the agreement as it's being negotiated. They're influencing that. But our own members of Congress, the media, the public are shut out. They won't release the text. The very limited release of the text to members of Congress, but then they're not allowed to talk about it, what they've seen, or write down, make notes on it. Basically, it's about a lot more than trade. It's about giving corporations through the back door the kinds of deregulation that they've been wanting for a long time. So it gives them the right to sue countries if their environmental, labor, or consumer protection laws interfere with profits of that corporation. And basically, for a lot of these smaller countries, what that means is the countries will roll back those laws rather than pay tens of millions of dollars in fines to these large corporations. So it's going to offshore more jobs, it gets rid of our food safety provisions, it increases the cost of medications and undermines health systems. It's going to just really be destructive to the environment, and there's a whole lot more. Internet privacy is going to be affected. It's very far-reaching.
And you also mentioned in your press release about fracking. You're
Right.
concerned about that could be even worse than it could
Right.
be.
I mean, for instance, fracking is going worldwide, and there's a Canadian corporation called Lone Pine Resources that incorporated in the U.S. so it could be considered a foreign investor, and is now suing the country of Canada for $250 million because they spent some money on checking, drilling for fracking, and then fracking was banned. So this is something that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see more and more dirty energy companies suing countries so that they can extract the resources in their country. And that's going to be, really undermining the environmental protection that's not adequate as it is, but will be even more inadequate.
So it's kind of like a prime example of the 1% gang that's running things, getting behind a measure in which they're just going to be able to do their dirty work at the expense of the people.
Absolutely. It's we call it a global corporate coup because it gives corporations greater legal standing than individual nations and will undermine the laws in those nations. So it's really huge. It's different from other free trade agreements in a lot of ways. One is that it has a docking agreement, so other countries can join onto it after it's been negotiated, which is new. What it means is basically this is going to be the template for global trade going forward, and it's really not good for everybody except the 1%.
Now, usually trade agreements go before the Senate.
Right.
So if people are opposed to this, they should let Barbara Mikulski and Ben Cardin know. And
Well, actually, President Obama is doing kind of an end around the Congress with something you may remember, Fast Track, that President Nixon had, and a lot of presidents used that to pass a lot of these free trade agreements that we don't like. It expired in 2007. The president is pushing to get that again, and it's called Trade Promotion Authority this time. Basically, the Constitution says that Congress should negotiate and pass treaties. This allows the president to negotiate it and sign it, and then present it to Congress later for an up or down vote. No hearings, no testimony, no amendments, nothing. It totally subverts our democratic process. But even worse than that, in the past, the text of trade agreements has been released to the public. Not only are they refusing to release this, we only know what's been leaked, a few chapters have been leaked, but they sent out a memo of understanding saying that they won't release the text for 4 years after it's been voted into law, or 4 years after they've decided not to go any further with the negotiations. So Ron Kirk, who was the former U.S. Trade Representative, said if the people knew what was in the Trans-Pacific Partnership, it would never be able to be signed. So our job is to let people know what's in it, and we're doing this campaign. We have OccuCards, TPP OccuCards. They have information on the back as well as websites. People can download the PDF for free and print it themselves, or they can order them. They're very inexpensive at OccuCards.com. And we have a website called flushthetpp.org. Flushthetpp.org, which gives people all the tools and information they need so they can do educational events in their own communities. This is what we're asking people to do. If we know what's in this agreement, if enough enough people know it and tell Congress not to pass fast track, or as the trade coalitions we work with say, make it politically unsavory, they won't pass it. So we really have the power to stop this. It will be a huge win against transnational corporations if we do. It's something that brings everybody together. Any issue that you care about is going to be affected by the TPP.
Anything else, Dr. Flowers?
Well, my passion is healthcare. And the TPP is particularly bad for healthcare because it gives pharmaceutical corporations and medical device companies the possibility to just continue repatenting medications so that generics are not able to be made, keeps the price high, and allows them to sue health systems if they don't like the prices they're being paid so they can get higher prices. So it really is, I mean it, every single one of us needs to care about this and needs to get involved.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Flowers.